Undermount cutouts. First, we will be cutting the top surface out using a router. You can see here that we have placed a piece of 12mm MDF under the worktop. This is used to seal the bottom of the cutout as the final pass of the router reaches the bottom of the worktop. This seal helps the router's extraction system and minimises the spread of debris. The router bit may well touch the MDF, and so this piece is purely sacrificial but can be used many times. To begin, place the appropriate jig onto the surface and position. Be sure to square the jig up against the front edge of the worktop. It is assumed that the sinkhole is square in relation to the external shape of the jig itself. With the jig clamped in place, the cutout can now be performed with a router. We would suggest that this is done with at least 2 passes. As with all router processes, the key here is to keep a constant, even pressure on the router. Once the router has cut the worktop, the debris can then be removed and the internal edge checked for sharpness. We would recommend that the jig is set up so that the router guide bush can be changed and a final full-face trim can be performed to ensure an accurate and even finish. The easiest way to remove the cutout is to attach one sucker of the seaming tool to it and gently lift it out, making sure that you do not catch the edge of the cutout as you do so. The excess cutout material should be left on site in case of any future instance of damage that requires specialist repair. Now the internal edges of the cutout, both top and bottom, can be profiled as required. Once the internal edges of the cutout have been profiled, they can be finished to the required level to match the rest of the surface. The cutout is then complete and the requisite sink or appliance can be fitted. When doing so, please ensure that you follow the manufacturer's installation instructions. Remember, use a sacrificial piece of MDF to assist debris control and save time cleaning up. Use 2 sizes of guide bush to allow for a final trim, typically 32mm and 30mm. Always follow manufacturer's guidelines when fitting sinks or appliances.